Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennifer Grace Lee, the Associate Dean for Enrollment Management and Student Services, and I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to join us today. We're looking forward to talking with you and addressing any questions that you might have. Before we get started, though, I'd like to review a few logistical notes. In order to make sure that we can all hear the conversation, everyone in the audience is muted. Please remain muted. To ask a question, please use a Q&A feature found at the bottom of your screen. If you have a technical issue, please submit a question via the chat, not the Q&A. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can today. If we can't answer your question live, we will be sure to follow up with you after the event. After the questions are done, we'll have some time where we'll open the floor a bit and invite you to say a few words if you'd like to. Now, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our panelists. Tracy Mead, Senior Associate Dean for Strategy and Innovation. George Adi, Senior Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. Bronwyn Stein, Assistant Dean of Information Technology. Shahana Gupta, Chief Diversity Officer and Title IX Coordinator. And Leah Hayeski, Enrollment Bursar Director and the Office of Scholarships. With that, I'd like to introduce you to the school's Dean, John Mogulescu, who will kick this off. John?
Thanks, Jennifer. Let me just start with, I hope everybody is okay. This has been such a horrible time, unimaginable. Never in my lifetime, and I've been a New Yorker for my entire life, have I seen anything like this that has affected our city. And so again, foremost, hope that you are safe, hope that your loved ones are safe, and hope that you are managing okay. Obviously, all of us know somebody who has been affected by this virus, and I assume that is the case with virtually everybody who is on today. So I'm grateful for you to participate. Hopefully, we will have a good discussion. I want to start by saying how much admiration I have for our students. So many of you are actually essential workers here in this city. And you know, doing the business of keeping this city going. Lots of you are at home with children and families, taking care of people, and at the same time trying to do your schoolwork. And we are here to be of as good of assistance as possibly can be. I want to also thank our faculty and staff who are doing their best to see that we continue to operate a school that functions well. I think we have a bit of an advantage over the rest of CUNY because so much of what we do is in online degree programs. We do have an emergency fund for people that is very active. And those of you who have emergencies and financial emergencies, you both should know about it and take the opportunity to apply. You also know that we have had to postpone commencement for those of you who happen to be in your last semester. Very reluctantly, the whole university has done that, but we are going to have some virtual celebration, in June. And then we are thinking and planning on how to honor the graduates and have a real graduation either next fall or next spring. I want to say just a special word of thanks to the essential workers and particularly our nurses. We have almost 600 nurses in our school who are trying to get their bachelor's degree or their master's degree, but these are virtually all practicing nurses who have already received their RNs. And we are so grateful to you for what you're doing every day, more than you can even imagine. And then other essential workers as well. Truthfully, that is all I wanted to say because I want to get to the questions. Again, we are enormously grateful that you were members of our student body, that you are participating today. And this is, if things come up after this town hall, please let us know. We want to know what's going on and how we best can help you. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Andrea to start the questions.
Good afternoon, everybody. So my first question is for Jennifer Gracely, and this brings us back to something that the Dean mentioned in his opening remarks. What is the COVID-19 Emergency Fund, and how can I take advantage of this as a student?
I'm actually going to turn the emergency fund question to my colleague Leah, who could talk about the application and the criteria for the fund.
Sure. We do have an emergency grant throughout the year. We have been fortunate enough to get extra funding to help with emergencies related to COVID-19 specifically. So if you have rent that is due, if you have electricity bills, if you are on a tuition payment plan that you're now not able to pay, the grant is available to all of our undergraduate and graduate degree seeking students. You can visit our website under, on the top, there's financial aid and tuition, and there is a sub-menu for short-term assistance. The application goes through our scholarship management system. We do, as you enter the question, you'll see there'll be some documentation required as it relates to loss of income due to this crisis. So our goal is, once you submit an application, to get back to you within 48 hours, and we do any follow-ups for any missing information.
Great. Thank you. Leah, while you're speaking, can I also ask you a question that came up? Can I get a refund on my tuition? I'm not getting as much out of the online courses as I did in the in-person classes. What is the way that I can get a?
Okay. So as of right now, there has been no change to the refund policy. So what we recommend is that if you're having difficulty transitioning to the online environment, definitely reach out to your professor for extra time regarding assignments. Reach out to your academic advisor as well. If for some reason you're finding that you're unable to get through, you could definitely, and Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, can they reach out to you if they are encountering difficulties? Because our goal is to try to help you through this as much as possible. If your situation is more detailed than that or nuanced than that, you could definitely reach out to the bursar's office, and we can guide you through the next steps that you might be able to take.
Thank you. George, this is a question for you. Will fall classes still be offered online?
Well, most of our courses are offered online, but the answer is that all fall courses will need to be, I guess the best word would be online capable. We do not know at this point in time if we will be able to have classroom-based instruction anywhere in CUNY. Right now, the planning at Central as well as at SPS is that we will probably begin online and look for the opportunity to have face-to-face instruction where that is the standard for that particular part of the curriculum. So right now, the short answer to that is yes, but the future is uncertain.
Thank you. And another question in terms of courses and grades. A student asks, what is the credit/no credit option, and how is that different than a pass-fail option?
The no credit option, which was created specifically for this crisis, is different from the pass-fail option in that both options have no effect on the GPA. There is no figuring of this into that important three-digit number that reflects your overall performance. The no credit option is also an option that the students don't have to apply for ahead of time. The students can avail themselves of this option as late as 20 days after the final grades are filed. And that's something to keep in mind. You don't have to do, and you probably shouldn't do anything until you've actually been informed of your grade, and then and only then avail yourself of the options. Now, obviously, if you get a letter grade that actually helps your GPA, you wouldn't want to avail yourself of the credit, no credit option. And there are certain programs where issues of accreditation and academic progress depend on letter grades. And for that, you would want program-specific advisement from your program.
The next question is for Jennifer Gracely. We have a student who's asked, what career services are available for people who lost their jobs due to COVID-19?
I'd say for students who have lost their jobs related to COVID-19, definitely reach out to the career services team as soon as possible. I know that many students have done so already, either because they've lost their jobs or even in anticipation of a change of employment, and they've already started to work with the career services team on updating their resumes and having an active profile in the CareerLink system. So definitely register through the CareerLink system and make an appointment with the career services team who can assist.
Thank you. And in that realm, we also have another question from a student. And they ask, for majors like museum studies, how will the institutions assist or aid with job and internship opportunities given all the changes in the industries now?
I guess I should take that one. Right now we are making adjustments within that major specifically, because as a lot of people know, that particular course of instruction includes on-site and hands-on experiences with our partnering institution, the New York Historical Society. I actually did, just in the past couple of weeks, classroom observations with that major in the education course and in the fundraising course specifically. They have developed online alternatives to what had formerly been experiential settings for students to evaluate as well as participate in either educational experiences or fundraising. That is an industry, like many others, that is struggling right now in all sorts of ways because of the fact that in almost all museums at this point in time, there is no access public interaction at this point in time.
Thank you. We have a student who's asked, and Jennifer, this is probably, you may be the best person to do this, but as a US citizen living in a US state, what COVID-19 resources are available to me through CUNY SPS?
In terms of the COVID-19 fund that Leah was speaking about earlier, the emergency grant fund would be a good resource to start with if you've had a change in financial situation or your if you have unanticipated financial challenges. Aside from the emergency grant, we also included a pretty wide variety of resources on our website in terms of different resources that are available throughout, whether it's city or state agencies. Not sure if that answered the question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
This next question is for George, and I'm going to read the whole statement. It says, I want to thank you and the Dean and the rest of the CUNY SPS members for holding this forum. My question is on Classwork Standards. Due to the pandemic, I am now taking care of my sister's kids along with my kids as I work from home as well. They are all attending online classes as I am trying my best to do homework with them so that they can keep up. I feel that this added home workload is pulling me away from the quality of my SPS classwork. Will the professors want the same quality as work as before, same quality of work as before, excuse me, before this pandemic. This is my last class.
We have been in extensive communication with the faculty here. One of the challenges specifically for our online instructors is that they must understand that though our mode of instruction has not been disrupted, our students' lives have been. And your description of your situation is a wonderful example of that. We have been working with the faculty directly and through their program directors to make sure that people are as compassionate and understanding as they need to be. The best thing you can do is to make your circumstances clear to both your instructor and your program director. We want to make everything as equivalent in terms of instruction and at the same time as adjusted in terms of extenuating circumstances in a time of crisis as it can possibly be. So it really is important to make your circumstances, excuse me, clear to your instructor. They will try to do everything they can to make the necessary adjustments. Deadlines are not that important. Getting the work done as best you can is.
George, if I might add, Andrea, just for a second, you know, we have over 300 faculty, and it is possible that there may be a small number that are not doing the kind of accommodation that we have been stressing. And if that is the case, we need to hear about that. And so, George, you start with your faculty member and then your academic director. And if you feel that you're not getting satisfaction, then you can go to George, you can go to Jennifer Grace Lee, and you can come to me as well. So I just wanted to kind of reinforce what George said on that point.
Thank you. Bronwyn, this is a question for you. I can't get into Blackboard sometimes. Who can help me with this?
Sure. So the SPS Technology Help Desk is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. And you're welcome to call, email, or contact us in any other way. In addition, Blackboard, the company, is providing after-hours support 24 hours a day. So you can also reach them if the SPS Help Desk is not open. We'll put up a slide at as part of this presentation with phone numbers and email addresses and web addresses that can help you reach those resources.
Thank you. And a follow-up question to that, Bronwyn, is how can I return the laptop that I borrowed earlier this semester if the campus is closed?
If you want to return a laptop that you've borrowed, you should reach out to Student Services. Their web address, their email address is also going to be available, and they will make arrangements to collect that laptop through the post. Or you can hold on to it until you're able to come back to campus.
This question, next question, I believe is for Jennifer Grace Lee. I need to return books to the Baruch Library. How can I do that?
Actually, throughout all of CUNY, the library loan period has automatically been extended, and I believe there are up to 9 extensions that are being allowed for library loan books. But in the immediate, the first one is off.
Thank you. Another question for you, Jennifer.
Sure.
One student has written in saying that they're feeling very anxious and stressed out, not just about school, but about the entire COVID crisis. Who can I talk to?
Sure. I think, just to say, most folks are feeling really anxious and stressed out. So that's certainly common and you're not alone. If you find that you're really struggling, I would encourage you to contact Erin Jeanette, who is our counselor at SPS. She can be reached at counseling@sps.cuny.edu. She's working with students to identify resources that could help in the long term in terms of ongoing counseling services, but she's certainly a first very good point of contact if you find that you're struggling.
Another question to do that.
Andrea, I think the question was, can I still borrow a laptop if I need to? We do still have a small number of both laptops and Chromebooks available for students. And depending on the type of course you have, you may need one or the other. So please do reach out to Student Services and they will work with you directly to make arrangements to borrow the technology that you need to get your work done.
Great, thank you. George, we have another question for you. Why aren't students getting any form of official time extended to complete work considering the stressful time we are in?
That's a good question. We have been in pretty extensive contact with students as well as with their instructors. And the truth is that the needs of students are so variable depending on their circumstances. This is, and I suppose the point of comparison is that special extension, or what was it called, period of adjustment that effectively eliminated spring break for most of the other students. That was a chunk of time that was devoted to transitioning or spending more time transitioning face-to-face courses to online courses. There's nothing like that in our experience. We haven't had to make adjustments like that. We need to know what adjustments students are making. So I go back to what I was saying before. If you need more time, please let your instructors know. In some cases, people are experiencing social isolation, spending more time at home, actually having more time to spend on their instruction. Other people are doing homeschooling for their kids, working from home, and trying to do their schoolwork at the same time, functioning as frontline workers. And so the circumstances of individual students are enormously variable. Please let your instructor know what your needs are specifically.
Great, thank you. This is a graduation related question. And the question is, when will the commencement ceremony be held for the class of 2020? And when will I get my degree?
So we're most definitely looking forward to holding an in-person commencement ceremony as soon as it's safe to do so. We don't know the exact timeline for that as of yet. In terms of your actual degree conferral, if you complete all of your degree requirements by the end of the spring semester, your degree would be conferred on June 1st. And if you need a little bit more time, whether it's to select the credit, no credit option, or to finish incompletes, the next conferral date would be July 1st.
Great, thank you. Leah, this next question is for you. Will there be a summer /
Okay, so for those that might not have been able to hear that, the question was, will there be an extension for the summer and fall semester tuition? So for the summer, we are asking students that are not able to make their payment deadline to reach out to the bursar's office. We are working with all students on making sure that we can find a plan that works for you so that you are able to attend this summer semester. So one way that we're doing this is we will not be dropping students for non-payment, but we do ask that you reach out to us. We are being very flexible with the summer. In terms of the fall, no decision has been made, but we do recognize that this may continue to the fall. And likewise, we will work with you to make the best payment option available for you.
The campus is closed.
I'm sorry, Andrea, were you asking about the payment? How can students make a payment if the campus is closed?
Yes.
Okay, so for all students that, if you're not aware, you could definitely make a payment online through CUNY First. You can pay with a checking or savings account with no fee. You can also use a credit card. There is an additional service fee on top of that. If for some reason you can't make a payment online, reach out to my office in case you don't have our email address. It's bursar@sps.cuny.edu, and we will figure it out. If you have to mail in a payment, you know, we're not going to hold you from registering from classes because you have to mail in the payment, but definitely reach out to us.
Thank you, Leah. Can tuition be deferred to the completion of the semester for nurses whose employer pays?
So we do work with students who have, where their employers do pay for the tuition. So again, reach out to our office so that we can make a notation on your account. You know, like I said before, we're going to be as flexible with you because, you know, we don't want to add this as a burden to you. So definitely reach out to us.
Great. Jennifer Grace, my job depends on me receiving my degree by June. What can I do to get my diploma earlier?
So if you need documentation that you received all of your degree requirements, we can certainly provide that to you. We can do that in an official letter from the registrar's office. Although it might take some time for you to actually receive your diploma, we can certainly give you a confirmation that you can provide to your employer that you've completed all your degree requirements and earned your degree.
I heard the board voted to give back some of my student activity fee. When will I get that?
Okay, so the CUNY is working on applying these waivers to your, to all students' account. I will caution that if you have already enrolled for the summer and fall semester, what will happen is that credit will move towards your summer and fall balance. If you'd like the refund because you had an alternate way to pay for summer or fall, reach out to our office and we could work with you on getting that refund out to you.
Right. Another question that just came in, is there going to be an increase in tuition this?
Okay, as of right now, we haven't heard anything about a tuition increase. You know, of course, if that is, we will definitely notify all students.
Thank you. Another question that just came in, and I'll probably open up the floor for whoever would like to answer this question. Is there any way that the seniors and established students can help by mentoring other students who may be having trouble?
I'll take a shot at that. That's a wonderful idea, and if anybody is willing to do that, I would ask them to reach out to the program directors in those specific majors, because they would be the people who would best be able to say how students would and could contribute in that way.
Thank you. George, another question for you. What is the last day to drop classes?
It's the last day of classes for a change. The withdrawal date has been extended to May 14th, which is formally the last day of class.
Jennifer, you may answer this one. Are there any job opportunities that you know of or internships for students who may have lost their jobs?
I would reach out to the Career Services Office to see if they have any active job postings. I know that just last week I was heartened to actually hear that 2 of our students were moving forward with interviews from different companies. So I think there are some companies that are hiring, but again, for an active listing, I would definitely connect with the career services team.
Great, thank you so much. That is all the open questions that we have for now. So if any of the students who are on would like to ask any more questions, please do so in the Q&A box. George, another one for you. Will the credit, no credit option be extended to the summer or fall semester?
We have heard nothing along those lines at this point in time. The credit, no credit option is a university policy. It's not an SPS policy. And at this point in time, we have not heard anything about extending that to the summer or the fall.
Leah or Jennifer Grace Lee, will there be any additional financial aid next fall because of COVID-19?
So what I would say is, first, make sure that everyone, if you haven't filed your 1920 FAFSA, do that now. Also, you could definitely file your 2021 FAFSA because for the summer semester, you may be eligible for aid on either of those 2 FAFSAs. Right now, we are working with students. So for example, since the FAFSA is based on 2018 income, and because of what is going on, you had a drastic change in income, you definitely should reach out to the financial aid office so that you can review your financial information that may now actually have you eligible for aid. As Jennifer mentioned earlier, we do have for the first time a summer scholarship application open for the summer term for undergraduate students. So we definitely encourage you to apply for that. And we are always working on getting more opportunities for students. So keep a lookout on your email because, I do have a feeling we might have more financial help available to students.
Great, thank you. And for you again, Leah?
Sure.
We have actually the same question from a couple of students regarding the credit card fees for tuition payments. Since the option for paying tuition in person is unavailable, has there been any thought about removing the fees for those credit card payments during the pandemic?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not able to remove the service fee, but I will say if you are having difficulty making the payment because that additional service fee, please reach out to us. We're definitely happy to work with you on a payment extension so that you can paying that service fee.
The next question is for George. Will there be any added summer courses to what is already being offered?
We are in fact exploring that now. Our assumption is that there is probably a need, not just at the School of Professional Studies, but elsewhere in CUNY, a heightened need for online courses, given the problems, the obvious problems with classroom-based courses at this point in time. There are some faculty at other campuses that are simply not able to teach or not willing to teach online. And of course, that's our stock and trade. So we are looking to increasing summer offerings in some disciplines in particular. It's not something that's easy to do, but it's something we're trying to do.
Is it for books still available?
So right now the book grant is available only for the fall and spring semesters. However, we will look at that to see if we can make that available for the summer as well.
Okay. And another question for you. Do you have to apply for Fafsa in order to qualify for the summer scholarship?
So yeah, we do ask all students to file their Fafsa. If for some reason you are having difficulties filling it out, please feel free to reach out to the scholarship office and we can work with you on that.
Thank you. I would say this next question would be for George. We have a student who is saying that they are a graduate student and they have a defense meeting scheduled for the first week of May. They feel like they are not able to prepare themselves and professionally.
I would say, certainly understandable. If I were in the same situation, I'd probably feel the same way. I would very much encourage that student to communicate with the review committee, and I would expect them to show understanding and to reschedule the defense.
Great, thank you. This question is for Jennifer Grace. Will there be a virtual commencement ceremony for May 2020 graduates?
Yes, we are most definitely working on a way to honor our May 2020 graduates virtually.
Just checking for more. We have just a couple of comments. First, one student just wanted to, I just want to thank you all for the continued support and outreach that has been made to all students during these unprecedented times. For that, and classes more about flexibility around deadlines and expectations, including the credit, no credit option, so that communication decreases the anxiety among our students.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I have a question. During this pandemic situation, I heard from some of you that there will be few flexibility in terms of adding new courses during the summer and fall time. I am a student for Master of Science in Business Management and Leadership, and I'm following closely. There is a risk management course which is available part of the electives, but that course is neither coming in the last 2 semesters, and I don't see they are coming in the next 2 semesters. In view of the current pandemic situation, a risk management course is very important for a student like us who has corporate responsibility and to manage with the day-to-day business continuity plan and overall risk management. I want to humbly request the management to reopen this course and maybe should be available either in the summer or fall term.
I will, I promise personally to convey your request to Edwin Knox, who is the, Dr. Knox is the academic director for our online business programs. I'll let him know.
I was going to ask Shahana if she had anything to add, because I thought she might like to say a few words.
Yeah, as the Chief Diversity Officer, Title IX Coordinator, and the ADA 504 Coordinator for the school, I just want to advise and help people who, students who need any kind of resources related to those issues. My contact information is on the web, my phone number and email, and I'm always available to help you with any information you need on those policies, and as well as if you have any issues or concerns regarding any kind of discrimination, Title IX, sexual misconduct, and or any kind of disability and reasonable accommodations. Thank you.
If there are no other comments at this time, I'll pass it over to Dean Mogulescu to close our virtual town hall.
So let me thank everybody for participating and for your questions. A lot of the answers were that you need to follow up, and I urge you to do that. There are things that we simply could not, absolutely answer here today, but when the bursar, when Leah says to please follow up, she really means it. And we're all going to be responsive And similarly with all of the questions, and hold us accountable if you think we said something and it doesn't seem to be happening. I would just end by how I started, to say, please take care of yourselves. Please take care of your families. And we are committed to doing everything possible we can do to see that this semester concludes okay, that as many of you finish in a good manner as possible, given all that is going on in your lives. I wish we could have given more specific responses to people who have lost jobs and who are in dire financial shape. There is so much going on at the moment, and we are going to do as much as we can without over-promising. And again, to thank the essential workers who are putting their own lives at risk. We are enormously grateful, but also just grateful to all of the students at SPS for what you're doing and juggling all that you're juggling. Our goal is always has been to see that you graduate as soon and as a timely a manner as possible. So I want to thank you again, wish you a good day, and we'll go forward together from now on. Thanks very much.